Hello guys, and welcome to weekly outlook here on gold, the pound USD, the USDCAD and the DXY. And quickly, my anticipation for this week is pretty simple. If we just move over a little bit to the daily time frame, we could see what gold has done. We've seen price come all the way to that 1960 region, just shy of some like 10 pips before 1960. I think it smashed it, and then we had that free fall. So anticipation for this week is for price to actually retest 1835 regions. Prior to that, we might have a pullback a little bit to 18 or more like 1900 or even above, then before we continue to the downside, or we could just get maybe a little consolidation here, and then we'll just continue to drop to 1830. Slide down to the 4 hours for a better view. So this is basically my anticipation, a continuation to this region. Either we just get a continuation to this region here this week, and probably from here we'll come back a little bit, or as we see market open, we'll have a pullback to these regions here, and then we'll continue to the downside, and possibly we might just break this region, make a retest, and then continue to the downside. Yes, there's a possibility that if price retests this region, after retesting this region here, we can actually continue to the upside, possibly. But for now, for the week, my anticipation is continuation directly to 1835, or we could have a little pullback to these regions and then continue to the downside. And if that happens, we pull out our Fibonacci retracement too. We could have that our retracement will just be all the way to around that region here, 61.8 to the T around that region. Okay, so that's basically what we'll be anticipating on gold. And then on pound USD, similar to gold, the same kind of bias, continuation to the downside to 1.186465, or possibly 1.17, possibly. But before then, we could actually probably get a pullback to this region before the continuation. If we look over here on the daily time frame, we could actually see there's a possibility we've made a double top. We made a very big double top here, and that is more like, if this is happening in the higher time frame, then there's a possibility we might be coming back all the way to these regions. But first, high probability of price coming to retest 1.1750 is there, and then if we slide down to the smaller time frame, there's a possibility for price to actually just pull back a little bit to these regions and then pick up orders, and then we'll rush down to the regions of 1.1875 regions first. A break of that region, then we could see price come all the way to 1.11 in the long term. But for now, my first targets are 1.1870, and then the next targets are 1.1750 regions. Okay, so that's basically that on gold, on pound USD, sorry. So that's my anticipation. On USDCAD, more like the way these pairs are all correlating, my anticipation is a break of price towards these regions, and then we'll continue to the upside, or we could come back a little bit to pick up orders around this region before we continue. If we slide down over to the 1 hour time frame, we could see there's a possibility that price still doesn't want to break immediately, creating more like a double top around this region. And if that happens, we could just see price come back to these regions to pick up orders around 1.3350, pick up orders beautifully around that region, and then we'll continue to the upside, this time breaking the downward trend line, retesting these regions, and continue to the upside. So that's my outlook here on USDCAD, and all this bias is actually influenced by the DXY. So I'm looking at what the DXY will do. We've seen market open, and we've seen DXY skyrocketing to the upside, like moving fast to the upside, possibly retesting this region. And if that happens, it means that gold will continue to the downside, G will continue to the downside, and USDCAD will continue to the upside. So but if price quickly comes to these regions and no effect on other pairs, and then start retesting to these regions, then we might actually get that pullback that I'm anticipating on gold, a pullback here on GU to these regions, and then USDCAD pullback to these regions here for a pickup, to pick up orders, more like this, more like come back here, pick up orders, break, retest, and then we'll continue to the upside. Or we could just get that break earlier this week, and then we'll continue to the upside. So that's what I'm anticipating. But for the DXY, what I'm anticipating, probably since we've seen price going to the upside, we might just get price to this region, come back to pick up orders here or here, and then we'll continue to the upside, possibly break this region, retest this region, and then we'll continue to the upside. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's that on that. I'll see you guys on Friday for weekly recap. Let's see how this week will play out. Enjoy the week. Ciao.